Oh my God, this is slippery. Ugh. So how we all bloody doing? Yeah, just out here enjoying the beautiful weather and all that. Bloody fantastic, isn't it, Grace? So we're just on a trek to go get some snacks ready for Rampage, 6 PM. And then I've got a sort of top secret to sort of give to you and that. Yeah, that's fantastic. Well done. Rampage was insane. I literally seen Brendel do that flip over the canyon gap, lost my shit. I was there partying in the front room and stuff. And the signal kind of went down and stuff. The broadcast went all funny, didn't it? Red Bull, pull your finger out. Woke up this morning, watched England win the rugby as well. They're in the finals. Crazy scenes. Baskett and his pallets again. It's kind of a winter build, winter project. I've got some more of these to pick up. These are Euro pallets. Best pallets around, and yeah, it's just a different project, but I need to get my will to continue this video to explain something. Oh my God, the state of it, that is insane. So anyway, on to the video in hand. So recently I had a really big case. I cased quite a lot, but this one was really bad, probably one of my worst, and a lot of you were shocked at the fact that my inner tube didn't blow up. My back wheel is absolutely destroyed. I don't know how my tyre's still up, but my back wheel is actually completely destroyed. And I'll explain why it didn't blow up. This is what happened to my rim. So somehow that happened to my rim. There's a slow motion video coming up right now, and you can see how bad it is. Both sides of the walls pretty much dented right over. You can literally see right through the side. I had my tyres pumped up to 80 psi when I'm riding a street, and it was insane. I think it would have been cooler if the inner tube did blow up, but for the fact it didn't blow up, I was actually able to sort of loosen off my brake and still ride about. So I wasn't sort of like stuck out on the streets, which is kind of a good thing, I suppose. But what was the reason why? Why? That was a question that was asked. And the answer is simple. I run 2 tyres. See, I don't like to suck my own eyebrows or anything, but I feel like I've taken my BMX down some of the worst terrain ever done on a BMX. And if you look at it all together, out of all the stuff that I've done on the BMX, I didn't get one puncture. Heavy metal music, take it away. So yeah, out of all that, not one puncture. And yeah, I think it's pretty bloody good going. I was landing in thorn bushes. I was going over heavy rocks, heavy roots and stuff with no suspension. So it wasn't sort of taking anything away from the wheels were taking everything. And now I look at these tyres, the tyres I was actually running, there's little holes everywhere where stuff's tried to get through but not got right through because there's another tyre underneath. So yeah, I definitely dodged some bullets out there. Minehead trails, Triscombe trails, Kingscliff trails. I mean, the GoPro Hyper Smooth kind of takes away the kind of ruggedness of it. But trying to do all that on a BMX, I think I'm the first person that ever tried riding a BMX at Triscombe. And maybe the Hopcott trails in Minehead. Probably be the last as well. And it's a simple setup. You just get an old tyre, you literally cut the sidewall off the old tyre, and you literally thread it inside of your normal tyre. Normally I put a knobbly one inside of a knobbly one, and then you can kind of run a bit lower pressure, and it actually feels like you're running sort of tubeless. And if you're running sort of ramp tyres, put a ramp tyre inside. I know you weight weenies out there are not going to like it because it does put a bit of weight to your bike, but because I'm from the sort of mid-school era where I've actually got like guns and stuff where I actually pick up my bike and, you know, throw it around a little bit, I can't ride a really light BMX. My kind of weight limit is kind of like 28 pounds. Anything under that, I just don't like it. It kind of floats around a little bit. I know a lot of people run sort of sub 20 pound BMXs these days. I literally can't do it. I've had a go on one, literally just floats in the wind. But yeah, if you're not sort of a weight weenie, bit of a heavyweight like me, you know what I mean, got the guns and stuff, doesn't matter. If this prevents sort of punctures and stuff, and you're out sort of in the middle of nowhere and you don't want to get a puncture, putting two tyres inside of each other is a godsend. And I always have it on the back. I'll always run two tyres on the back, especially when I'm sort of downhill BMXing and street riding. Sometimes when I'm riding certain skate parks and stuff, I'll only run the single tyre. And the thing is, you can do this on a mountain bike as well. I mean, the mountain bike that I ride to work on, I don't want to get punctures on it. I don't run it tubeless. So I've got two tyres inside of each other, pump it up sort of 50, 60 on the road and that. You don't feel much difference. It's got a little bit of kind of areas where it feels a little bit squidgy and stuff, but knowing in the back of your mind you're not going to get a puncture because it's quite hard for something to penetrate through two tyres, you're bloody laughing, and it saves all that money on inner tubes. And like I said, growing up, I always did this. I actually had three tyres on the back growing up because my BMX weighed about 42 pounds. But having a heavy BMX back in the days was a cool thing, apparently. No wonder my back's fucked. But yeah, for me, it's a win-win. Because like I say, BMXs have got so light these days. Even when I build up a full BMX, it comes to about sort of 25 pounds. I need to add a little bit of weight to it because I prefer sort of 28 plus. I just put two tyres inside of each other. Then I get to my sort of 28 region. Then the thing don't float around and stuff. When I'm doing big gaps, I like a bit of weight underneath me. I can understand where people want real light BMXs these days to kind of whip it around and all that, but I'm more of a sort of like heavyweight. When I'm going down mountain bike trails on a BMX, I prefer there to be a bit of iron underneath me. Otherwise, you try and do it on a really light BMX, it's going to either feel like it's going to snap in half or just float around like a druggie. You know, when they take loads of drugs and they kind of like float around the nightclub. They'll like pink boots on, all the tunes go in, they're just floating around with a bottle of water around, gurning their bloody tits off. But yeah, that is a Baskett top tip. And like I say, it's not for everyone. Some of you are like, that's a shit idea. But for those of you out there that don't like punches and stuff and don't care about a bit of weight, running two tyres inside of each other, cutting the sidewall off is actually a bloody good idea. And if you find yourself wanting to do downhill BMXing, most of you are like, no, don't want to do that. But some of you might want to try it out. It's definitely a good idea to put two tyres inside of each other to prevent the rocks sort of penetrating through any thorns and stuff. And like I said, you can run it at a bit of lower pressure and it feels like it's actually like a tubeless setup. But yeah, I just thought I'd give you that advice because some people asked how I didn't get a blowout. How the hell that bit of concrete, that slab, penetrate through two tyres, do that amount of damage, and I didn't blow out my inner tube? It's because it can't pinch it. You got to think, it's got to penetrate through two lots of tyres, compress the inner tube. It did cause that amount of damage, but because it couldn't actually pinch the inner tube, because the two tyres are protecting it, it saved me from getting a blowout. But yeah, that's definitely the worst case I've ever had. This rim is a complete write-off. It's actually got like a complete flat spot. Look at the state of that. Sorry about the light, it's probably blinding you, but look at it from the side. That flat spot is unbelievable. So this could be a good bit of advice or useless, and that's how it is, I suppose, on YouTube. Sometimes you're like, yeah, that's a good idea. Sometimes Baskett, that's a shit idea. But for me, And for you, if you do downhill BMXing, it's a bloody good idea. Because it doesn't matter how much your BMX weighs if you're going downhill with it. In most cases, you want it to be heavy as hell, so it actually stays on the bloody floor. Otherwise, you're kind of floating around everywhere. Every route you go over, you're kind of lipping out of it. In most cases, you want to stay stuck to the ground as much as possible. And yeah, I found it works really, really well. So that is my bit of advice, and that is how I didn't get a puncture to jump in the river gap. But anyway, that is my useless information. Put 2 tyres inside of each other to prevent punctures and whatever. So I hope you enjoyed this one. Thanks for watching. Bye for now. Yeah, England in the final next week. That's going to be a good time. I'll go get this wheel rebuilt up on a different rim so I can salvage the hub. The weather outside is absolutely awful. And hopefully it changes tomorrow so I can actually get out and do something a bit more adventurous. Oh my god. That is how you destroy a back wheel. I actually want to do it again now, that's an annoying thing. It's like no BMX shops about.